Imagine a world where one of the most innovative and visionary companies in the world decides to leave the public market and become a private company. That could be the story of Tesla, and according to Ross Gerber, it's a move that could send shockwaves throughout the stock market.
California avoid blackouts and all the utilities that are investing in Tesla energy battery systems, which are just revolutionary our energy system. So I think long-term Tesla is an incredible investment. On the short term, Tesla has these headwinds with higher rates, retooling the factory. So I think if your goal is 1 to 2 months, I don't know about Tesla, but I think if your goal is over the next 3 to 5 years, Tesla is as good of an investment as ever, and it's just a high valued stock.
The reason for the valuation discrepancy between the two companies. I don't cover BYD, but my colleague does, and our estimates for BYD and Tesla next year are actually quite similar in terms of revenues and profitability for the company. So clearly the market is ascribing value to Tesla's other businesses, and certainly, I think their software portfolio is, miles ahead of BYD's. And so you get to this question of what does that software and other innovation portfolio translate to in terms of value? And the market is saying, about $600 billion worth of incremental value. And we struggle to come up with that number, quite frankly. We think Tesla will bring lots of innovation, as it has to date, in terms of software.
Ross Gerber just made an eye-opening prediction that Tesla's going to go private and ultimately shake Wall Street in just 2 years. This is a company that has a mission to revolutionize the automotive and sustainable energy industries and to make humanity a multi-planetary species. Ross Gerber believes in the possibility of Tesla going private and how it could change the future of the company and the world. Today, we're going to explore the benefits and challenges of Tesla going private and how this is going to affect its stock as well as its innovation and its shareholders. And we're going to examine the motivations and obstacles behind the move and the potential implications for the EV industry and the public market. So join us as we explore this potential transition that could reshape the future for Tesla. Let's dive in.
How big of a threat do you see the Cybertruck as a threat to some of the more traditional automakers and their lineup of EV pickups?
I don't see it as a big threat in terms of outright sales, right? Like Mary Barra was very clear, and they know their trucks. It's something they've been succeeding at for decades now. Even as they're shifting to electrification, I think they're pretty confident in maintaining a pretty strong user base. So I don't think it's going to steal sales necessarily, but I do think it's going to force people's perceptions of what an electric truck can be. It's going to force automakers to evolve their interpretation of that. I mean, that's what Tesla did, famously with the Model S. Electric vehicles 15 years ago were not sexy, they weren't aspirational, they weren't luxurious. And the Model S came in and sort of shattered all of that. And so I think you may see some perceptions shift a little bit as a result of the Cybertruck. I'm glad it's out there. It's a refreshing take on trucks, but I'm not going to go out and buy one. So I think automakers see it as potentially something that kind of, it's going to evolve kind of what consumers may expect out of their vehicle.
This is still a company that has two mystery machines that have yet to be unveiled here. And if you take a look at some of their Investor Day materials from earlier in the year, essentially it's just kind of a Casper the Friendly Ghost type of cloth over type of it. How much does this Cybertruck also set up the introduction of those vehicles, and does that make or break what that looks like in the fanfare?
That's a good question. I think this Cybertruck, it sort of sets the tone for Tesla and sort of the future of the company. I don't think, though, materially it's going to have an outsized impact on sales. I mean, it may have like a halo impact on maybe the share price a little bit, but in terms of sales, I've said it before, the bread and butter of Tesla are the Model 3 and the Model Y. And there are updates, pretty significant updates expected to each of those vehicles in the near future. So I think, they're going to look a little different. There's going to be potentially some different battery technology, potentially the range changes on those vehicles, and then the price as well.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has recently disclosed and discussed an idea he's got where he wants to take the company private. And he's explained this in the past. Back in 2018, Musk tweeted about considering a buyout of $420 per share, sparking a brief but highly publicized whirlwind of speculation and scrutiny from regulatory authorities. Ultimately, that idea was binned, but it did leave many wondering whether it might resurface in the future. So could this be the moment where Tesla takes a very crucial move and becomes the dynamic and crazy business that we know and love it for? Well, keep watching to find out. Hey guys, welcome back to Tesla Tomorrow. Tesla bull Ross Gerber emphasizes that going private could shield Tesla from the short-term market volatility and the pressures of meeting quarterly expectations. Usually, publicly traded companies often face intense scrutiny from shareholders and analysts, making it challenging to focus on long-term strategic goals. But Tesla can bypass this if it eventually goes private. But you may ask, what other benefits are there to this move? And how will this be particularly good for Tesla and its stock, as well as its investors? Well, you're going to find out. But before you do, if you like this type of content, go ahead and click that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to keep up to date on everything going on with Tesla. Tesla is a public company, which means it has to report its financial results every quarter and deal with the ups and downs of the stock market. But what if Tesla decides to go private and becomes a company owned by a few investors instead of millions of shareholders? Well, there are quite a few benefits of going private for Tesla. For one, it would free the company from the hassle of complying with the many rules and regulations that apply to public companies. Tesla could save time and money by focusing on its core business of making innovative electric vehicles and renewable energy products. Another benefit to going private is that Tesla could pursue its long-term visions without worrying about the short-term fluctuations in stock price. Tesla has a mission to transform the automotive and sustainable energy industries, and that requires a lot of patience and investment. As a private company, the automaker could avoid the pressure and distraction of meeting quarterly expectations and pleasing public investors. Going private would also give Tesla pretty strong leadership, especially Elon Musk, the CEO, as it would give them more control and flexibility over the strategy and operations of the company. It will make Tesla move faster and make more confident decisions, and more confidential ones too, which could be a competitive edge in the rapidly evolving and fierce EV industry. Moreover, going private would mean that Tesla would be protected from the influence of activist investors, who might have different agendas than the company's long-term vision. Tesla would then be able to raise enough capital from private investors or institutional funding without having to cater to the whims of the public market. So how would going private affect Tesla stock in the long run? Well, one way is that Tesla will be shielded from the volatility and speculation of the market. They can focus on long-term goals without being affected by the daily swings of market sentiment. This would greatly benefit the shareholders who stay with the car company, as they'll be able to enjoy the growth and valuation of the company. Tesla is also the most shorted stock in the world, meaning that many people are betting against the company and hoping that it will fail. Some even think that Tesla is a bubble that's going to burst soon. Therefore, by going private, it would make it harder for the short sellers to attack the company and create more positive and supportive environment for the company to exist in. Another way is that Tesla leadership would have more freedom and flexibility to make strategic choices without being influenced by market reactions. The EV maker could take more risks and experiment with more innovations without fearing the backlash from public investors. Tesla would not have to report its financials every quarter, which would also reduce the stress and burden of meeting short-term performance targets. This would also mean it would be able to execute strategic plans and innovation more efficiently without the public and scrutiny from the public being a concern for the company when it is, well, public. Tesla is known for its ambitious and visionary projects from electric cars to space exploration, and going private would allow it to continue its pursuit of bold and innovative ideas without the constant scrutiny and pressure from the public market. It could then thus raise more capital by selling shares to private investors and then use those funds for investment, research, expansion, and innovation, driving the company's growth and valuation. However, going private is not without its challenges, and investors should be aware of the potential drawbacks of this move. For instance, funding a buyout and managing the transition process can be a very complex one. Additionally, Tesla would need to ensure that all shareholders are treated fairly and that its mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy is not compromised. However, in all of this, the benefit of Tesla's privatization does outweigh the cost. And if the automaker does pull it off, then it could be one of the absolute game-changer moments for the company. As of now, though, it remains a speculative notion that Tesla will go private, even though Elon Musk is on track and on record for thinking outside the box when it comes to suggestions that change the concept of the company, and this is one that could resurface in this ever-evolving landscape of Tesla and the EV industry. Although we do believe, though, that if this move did become a reality, it would undoubtedly be a monumentous one, with far-reaching implications for Tesla and the future of sustainable transportation. The possibility of Tesla going private is a tantalizing prospect for the potential changes it would bring to the market, and it would reshape the company's future in a matter of years. Whether or not it will happen, though, nobody knows for sure, but what we do know is that this could be one of Tesla's tickets to true valuation. What do you think though? Can Tesla ever make this move to go private? Let us know down below, and let us know what your valuation of Tesla is. And if you want to know more about what Tesla's been up to over the last few days, go ahead and click on this next video on your screen. See you there.